I'm trying to edit my name since we're both Harry Schumacher. Actually, we should leave it that way, I think. Harry, what do you think? I don't know, Harry. I'll defer to you.
Yeah. We're the same person, basically. You're just a girl, and I'm a boy. Dick, are you on Bass Lake?
I am, Harry. Came up yesterday from Chippewa Falls to start the long Labor Day weekend and, of course, drink some spritzing and the last of the summer shandy. Already I'm into Oktoberfest. So, yeah, looking forward to the last weekend of summer. My brother John asked me to remind you to get your kidneys in shape so that you can reach the winter.
Okay, so let me explain. So, Jennifer, I don't know if you recall, but Dick and his brother John and his family so kindly invited me up to their place near Chippewa Falls on Bass Lake and very far north Wisconsin. But they invited me in January, so it's not like, and so, I'm more of a jet ski motorcycle guy, and they introduced me to the joys of snowmobiling. Well, a snowmobile is kind of halfway between a motorcycle and a jet ski, in that it maneuvers, but it not really. So Dick gave me a quick lesson.
Yeah, we did a 10-mile loop.
That was a 10-mile loop
test.
And then they said, okay, he's ready to go way backwoods with the most fastest, most capable snowmobilers in northern Wisconsin, which there are no better ones, right? And I'm petrified the entire time, holding on to this 8,000-pound machine that's Dick doesn't have insurance on probably, and I'm wildly going, and if you miss a turn, you just hit a tree and you're dead. Okay, so it's not like a fun jet ski. Oh, I fall up in the water. No, you fall up into a tree. He did give me a helmet and gloves. But
yeah, you're wearing a helmet.
I was safe, but it was also the most fun I've had on a winter day in a long time. Of course, I was frozen through and through. We went to bars that you could only get to by jet ski or by snowmobile. So that, there's no cars couldn't get to these bars. They did not take. I remember I was like, I'll pay for this round, waving around.
Cash only.
By Platinum American Express, like a big city, big shot. And of course, they're like, yeah, we only take cash and, greenbacks. And so then I was like, well, I have $12. So Dick.
They do have an ATM machine, though.
They did. for $10 a pull. So anyway, thank you guys.
We went into the UP, Harry, if you remember. We actually went into.
That's Upper
Peninsula of Michigan.
Peninsula, yes.
Yeah, before they closed it down, of course.
Closed it down, yes. And but Dick, I gotta say, man, and John, your brother, what a great time. And to listen to you two banter with each other, if you want to know very, very dry Midwestern humor, Jennifer, just listen to these two guys. Oh, hey, John. Oh, geez. Oh, yeah. Oh, John, I think the batteries in here are out. Oh, well, I checked them last week. Oh, they just talk about everything, and it's wonderful. So, anyway, with that great introduction, Jen's going to kind of run this interview. She has all the questions, but yeah, I hear the Spritzens doing some business, huh?
Yeah, it's been a real nice introduction for us, Harry. And I think what was nice about Leinenkugel Spritzen is that we did it in an authentic way. Spritzen meaning splash in German. So to take a beer, first to be a light beer, 93 calories, 2.2 carbs, package it in that slim can, which, a lot of the seltzers happen to be in, and then splash it, or flavor it with seltzer. And I think the three flavors we chosen were superb. We're going to add a fourth to that lineup. Blood orange is coming to the lineup. So By all indications, it's not cannibalizing our existing portfolio or Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. So I'm going to deem it a success. It got us into that kind of better for you space in an authentic way.
And when you say authentic and you know, Spritzen is obviously German, I didn't realize that you were of German heritage.
Yeah, just slightly.
Like,
Although my mother was
Leinenkugel.
Norwegian. Yeah,
Right.
my mother was
Oh, my name's
Norwegian.
Schumacher.
Schumacher.
Ah,
So yeah, I think we could have done a seltzer, just like 80 other new products are, but in that sea of sameness, I think this gives us a differentiating point. It's up to us to make it meaningful, but people love the product. When I watch people around our Leinie Lodge drinking Leinenkugel Spritz, and they absolutely love it.
I'm curious where it high spots the most, because I've seen in scan data it's doing pretty well. Are there obviously certain regions where it's doing the best, probably closest to home, right? But maybe.
Yeah, sure. Great Lakes, I think, the familiarity with the Leinenkugel's name, but also in the Northeast, picking up, and the velocities have been really good on it as well. We look at some velocities in that better for you space, and when you look at it versus the craft set, so some of those craft breweries that have come out with other products in that better for you space. So, Bell's did a lighthearted, Lagunitas, their daytime IPA, Dogfish did slightly mighty or something like that. All of our velocity behind Spritzen is higher than all of those. So it's nice to see that. And I think as more and more people get familiar with it and drink it and try it, they're buying it again.
I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's like a crazy thunderstorm going on, so I apologize if you hear. So yeah, anyhow, back to this. Well, how about, so Summer Shandy too, I mean, years ago it was blockbuster, right? It took over the summer, and then it had a couple of hard years. That's a little bit better for you play too, right? That's coming back too as well, right? Can you share any?
Yeah, it's been a terrific bounce back year for Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. Despite, not being in 22% of our on-premise locations, with most of it being closed down in the time period of March and April, when we're really just reintroducing the brand again for the summer. But we've overcome that headwind, and again, Summer Shandy is having a nice rebound year. It's up 5.1% this year over the last 13 weeks. Is really being driven by a strategic move we made about 3 years ago to really focus on can distribution, 12-pack can distribution. And that couldn't have come at a better time. We added a 24-pack can of Summer Shandy this year, and that's performed nicely. And as I think our consumers, drinkers have gone to the off-premise for their at-home occasion, those larger packs, both 12 packs and 24 packs, drove the sales of Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. So, Jen, it's in its 14th year. It's hard to think about, that thing's been around since 2007. And really went national with it back in 2012. But it's performing nicely, and a great bounce back year for Summer Shandy.
I remember when the first time I heard the word shandy, I think I was in Germany probably, or somewhere in Europe, and I was like, what's a shandy? And they're like, oh, shandy is, a beer with lemonade, or, it meant a lot of things back then. And then I was like, wow, somebody should probably bring that to the United States, especially in the summer months. And then you guys did it in a great way. And it's kind of transformed your division of the company for sure. I mean,
yeah.
And,
I like to remind people, Harry, that we introduced it in 2007. It was the same year that our parent company, Miller Brewing Company, introduced Miller Chill and put about $30 million of marketing support behind it. We had zero, besides my brother Jake and my brother John and myself.
But aren't Jake and Dick and John worth about 30 million in marketing? Let's be honest. I'm talking like Donald Trump right now. I mean, let's just be, you guys are the best. I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of beer people. I've seen a lot of people. They say a lot of people are the best. I think you're the best. This is my first time trying to imitate.
Not bad. Not bad, Harry.
You've been rehearsing that.
No, I really haven't. This is the first time. Let me try and talk about Barack Obama. Well, you know, I can't do it. But anyway, sorry, we're getting off track. We're getting, like as usual, I'm getting everything off track. Let's get.
Yeah, no, it really was. And, all the credit really goes to our distributors. They got behind it in a big way. Our customers did. They were the ones that actually wanted to call it Shandy. We originally were going to call it Leinenkugel's Lake House Lemon. And I remember one of our distributors, Aldo Madrugano, going, so what kind of beer is it? Well, in Europe or in Germany, they're called Rodlers, a beer mixed with something. And in the UK and Ireland, they're called Shandies. He goes, well, when's it going to be available? I said, in the summer. So he said, why don't you call it Summer Shandy? I said, okay, yeah, it's a good name. Let's call it Summer Shandy. So that's how we got there.
Yeah, who would know that a distributor, a heavy one at that, would have good mark? I mean, I was talking to a large wholesaler today, and happens to be a very large wholesaler. Okay. I'm not going to name his name, but probably the largest. Let's just say the largest wholesaler. And he was like, I go, what makes a supplier a good supplier? And he goes, the ones that ask us questions instead of the ones that just tell us stuff. And it's true. I mean, if you listen to your distributor, when you think about when Miller Lite took off with the low carb thing, that was a distributor that came up with that. So you're right. I mean, listen to your customers, I guess, is the lesson there.
Yeah. For sure.
Sorry, I'm just making broad comments. So, Jen, get this interview back on track. As usual.
Reeling it in. Virtual cane.
Sorry.
No, but I mean, obviously, Leinenkugel's is a very storied brand, right? You guys have been around for a long time. What is your theory about how seasonals play these days? Because obviously, Summer Shandy, one of the marquee seasonals, but it's a lot tougher out there than it used to be for seasonals. So, how do you guys think about seasonals these days if you want to be successful with them?
Jen, I think of seasonals as limited release brands. They don't always have to be seasonal in nature in terms of the season or the taste profile, but I think it's a way for breweries to innovate and have something that adds excitement to their portfolio. So for instance, we are going to be releasing our Leinenkugel's Toasted Bock. And we've had Bock beer since 1888. I think even before that, Bock beer that is from Texas. Great-grandfather did a Bock beer. But it was, the Bock then was springtime. It was brewed in the winter for consumption during Lent, the 6 weeks of Lent where the monks were fasting and they needed something a little bit more substantial to drink. But we're going to take Bock and actually put it into November, December, January, February, that time period. And it's going to work. The beer is a little bit heavier in terms of its flavor profile. It's got a lot of chocolate and roasted malt in there. And I just had 3 of them last night, in fact, and it was absolutely delicious. So I kind of think of seasonals as a way for breweries to innovate, introduce, keep things interesting within their portfolio.
Cool.
While keeping that same UPC, that's what, it kind of greases the rails, if you will, for chains. And
that was the Boston beer method, when we did that, Harry, and then we and others followed suit. And you're absolutely right. You didn't need to go back in and get that UPC reauthorized within the chain. You were just able to get it in on the shelf.
I think it's kind of it's like a little ironic that the monks would drink a heavier beer because they were fasting during Lent. They
weren't eating meat.
They weren't eating.
They were somewhere.
I mean, it sounds like to me like these monks had a great time during Lent, which is forget Fat Tuesday. Let's let's go.
So no, but that's a good segue for something that Harry and I have been talking about with another brewer that you may have recently mentioned, which are brand life cycles, right? Do you think they're real? Do you think they're inevitable? Like, you're talking about Shandy, it was out, hopefully it's coming back in. Can an old brand be successfully resurrected? Does a brand have to fall to a brand life cycle eventually, right? What are your thoughts there? I'm curious.
Well, Leinenkugel's as a brewery is 153 years old.
Right.
So, it's kind of goes back to, are you a house of brands or a branded house? And I think, with Leinenkugel's, our challenge is to continue to build the brewery as the brand. And within that brand, Leinenkugels, we can have a portfolio of beers or other products. Doesn't necessarily have to be beer. That can, link back to who we are as a brand and who we are as a family and our heritage. I think it's also, all has to be founded in a true north. But, there are certain brands that have a specific life cycle. But I think to your point, Leinenkugels as the brand has been around for 153 years. We've certainly had a lot of different products or beers within that time period. But, one that has stuck around is the original recipe that Jacob Leinenkugel did, back in 1867. That beer today at Leinenkugel's original is enjoying the same type of off-premise growth rate that Summer Shandy is. So it's doing well. And whether that's resurrected or not, or is it due to, people wanting to buy more can packages and go with familiarity, who knows? But yeah, it's a real thing, and we've enjoyed success with that beer for a long, long time.
Right. Interesting.
Well, I listen. One of the things, Jennifer, that struck me when I was in northern Wisconsin is how the Leinenkugels, you say, if you want to be what'd you say, a house of brands or a branded house. Yeah. That's I've never heard that before. And I like that. And you're a branded house, not a house of brands. And the Leinenkugel name does mean a lot. Trust me, Jennifer, every bar we went to, these guys were freaking celebrities. You would have thought I was walking in to a New Jersey bar with Bruce Springsteen and, John Bon Jovi. It was, oh my God, can I have my picture taken? And then, I'm in literally the ugliest Leinenkugel sweatshirt that Dick could find in his house from the 80s. And yet it was so retro that the young ladies in the bars were flocking to me for pictures as well. And, right. I'll just show you a picture right here. Well, we dub this in later. And this is this is me and Dick and John in front of a sign.
That was the Brule River tap, I believe, Harry.
Yes, and I very nearly, wrecked my my jet ski there, or whatever it's called, snowmobile. What they call them? What's the funky name? Not snowmobile, but
sleds.
Sled. Thank you.
Yeah, call them sleds.
That's the cool way to call them up there, Jen. I almost wrecked my sled there. I wrecked my sled here. Here we are in another bar. Here we, so yeah, we had a great time. It was cold as fuck, but sorry, it's cold as all get out.
Cold as ice. Foreigner.
Thank you. But we had a great time. But yeah, these guys are rock stars up there, and it is fun to hang out with beer legends. And anyway, we had a good time. So let's talk more. Jen, go ahead with your line of inquisition.
Yes, my inquisition. So when are you guys going to come out with a canned wine? Can break it here first.
Yeah, canned wine. My daughter, Katie, and my niece, Ellie, are both wine lovers, so they would absolutely love that. I'm not a wine drinker, so I think it's going to have to come in the next generation. Yeah.
Gotcha. Any other, kind of edge blurring innovations or anything else you can tease for us, since Gary almost gave his life?
Yeah, I think, innovation doesn't always have to be about a particular new product, but I think innovation can also, kind of how we're talking with our consumer again. And we're kind of going back to an old way and really reestablishing our roots in Wisconsin. I think we lost them. And, I'm very blunt with our team is that we lost it to another competitor here in Wisconsin, who should go nameless. But but
sorry,
we're back to Wisconsin in a bigger way. And, with a partnership with Christian Yelich, who is the MVP for the Milwaukee Brewers, that's been a great partnership with him. And we're going to continue to build upon that. We also, here in Wisconsin, released a new beer called Drink Wisconsinably Lager. And it's in partnership with a Wisconsin lifestyle brand, Drink Wisconsinably. If you haven't checked these guys out, I urge you to do so. They have some really creative.
I just saw something, Jen, in my email the other day about that. Drink
Wisconsin. Yeah, no, it sounds like.
I didn't know that anybody could drink Wisconsinably.
Well, that's the plan.
Like an oxymoron to me.
I didn't know anyone couldn't, especially when you're in Wisconsin. So. Well,
it's a really cool lifestyle brand. They've done a nice job, and the partnership's been a lot of fun. And there might be some other things that we'll do with Drink Wisconsinably and Leinenkugels as well. But in terms of products, what I'm really excited about is we're going to get into the IPA area, and we are currently testing Lemon Haze IPA.
Okay.
On draft, on test, not only at our Leinie Lodge in Chippewa Falls, but a few select bars, taverns in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota. And the consumer feedback has been fabulous on it. So, the lemon hits you in terms of the aroma. When you go to taste it, you get that hop in there, and then it finishes with the hop aroma. So truly is amazing. And I think for those that, like those hazy style IPAs, but also want the sessionability and not all of the hops that are just going to linger on your palate forever, this is going to be a really nice beer for them.
Interesting. Yeah, no. So that kind of begs the question, what's the on-premise looking like in your neck of the woods?
Well, we here, at least here in Wisconsin, reopened when the Wisconsin Supreme Court took exception to the stay safer at home mandate by Governor Evers. So back in May, some bars just reopened. Most of them did a good job in terms of safety protocols, social distancing, limiting the number of people, don't be standing next to each other, sitting next to each other at the bar. Some probably didn't do as good a job, but regardless, the on-premise is returning and velocities are getting better, and we're getting better through the summer, at least in the upper Midwest, Wisconsin, Minnesota, into the Dakotas. And
what happens when the first blizzard comes is my question.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Outdoor patio.
And everybody's using their outdoor spaces. We at the Leinie Lodge added tables and really had the. If traffic is any indication, I can tell you that at the Leinie Lodge, our traffic during the months of July and August was down about 30% compared to prior year, but our sales were actually up. So people are staying longer, having another beer, and our merch sales are up.
It sounds to me like, and I've heard this not just all over the country, is that the drunks are still going out because sales are up.
No.
The traffic is down. And when I say drunks, I don't mean that. I know Marty's getting. I don't even see Marty, but I can tell he's getting nervous.
Editing in real time.
Yeah, he's getting nervous. When I say drunks, I just mean the fun people of the world.
The fairies of the world.
Yeah, the heat.
People want to get out. They want to get out of their home occasion, their home environment. So they're going out, just not as often, and they want to go to places that are safe and that are following cleaning protocols and social distancing and masks. when you're not eating or drinking, of course. So even though our traffic was down, they wanna engage with us, and they wanna come up and visit us in Chippewa Falls and see the brewery. So, but you're right. You know, what are we going to do in the winter, in the winter months? And that's really our challenge, I think.
I think it's, yeah, man. I think it's gonna be tough on premise at least, but people will cocoon at home and just get it off premise. And you guys are lucky in that you have, you know, Molson Coors behind you. You got a strong off premise chain business, and you know, strong support there.
Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, 10th and Blake has been terrific as well. You know, I call them St. Peter and St. Paul. They've done a really nice job, I think, in terms of re-engaging the Leinenkugel brand within that big organization of Molson Coors. Helped us really knock down some barriers. Our speed to market is getting faster with innovation. We've gotten more resources. And then, you know, also give a lot of credit to Andrew McGuire and his team. Andrew heads up the Great Lakes as our regional vice president up here, and his team is really engaged and behind the Leinenkugel brand. So you're right. It's nice to have that Molson Coors team behind us.
I talked to Pete yesterday. I'm trying to get him down here to Texas for a dove hunt that Don Faust is putting on, and he's scared of snakes. Like he came to my ranch about, I don't know, 8 years ago, and he was so consumed with snakes. I'm like, you know, we could go weeks without seeing a snake. And then what did we do that night? We saw a snake, a very poisonous water moccasin. But I dispatched it with my pistol, and he still talks about it like I'm some sort of Clint Eastwood. But no, remind me, Dick, of and by the way, and St. Paul too. I wish I could marry that guy. If you watch his Instagram, and
because he cooks, right?
Yeah, he's a terrific chef.
That wife of his should just be so. I mean, he cooks really gourmet meals every night,
and I've never been invited to
all
one.
look bad, motherfucker. So anyway, those are two great guys. But I wanted to get one last thing is what was when you drove me to the airport? Remember, I had no luggage because my luggage didn't.
Right.
So Dick was very.
I think we had to wash your clothes, if I remember, right?
Several times.
Bag at the Delta counter in Rhinelander.
Right, right. But what was the burger that we had on the way there? And I was thinking about it.
Sure, that was Culver's.
Culver's, yes.
Culver's Butter Burger.
Oh, Jennifer.
You know, Culver's has made it down into Texas. They're in the Dallas market. I'm not sure they're down in San Antonio.
Well, you know that Dallas is further from San Antonio than Wisconsin is from Florida. You know, so I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, you're in Texas. You go." No, Dallas is a 7-hour drive. I'm not going to. Jen, do y'all have Culver's in Austin yet?
I don't know if we have it in Austin, but he's right. I'm sure we have it in Dallas, but I think we have it in San Antonio. But I've definitely seen it before.
It's the butter burger, man. It was really good.
Butter burger, yeah.
Yes, and I hope I'm not spilling any beans, but Dick had he had a chocolate sundae or something that he wasn't supposed to tell his wife about, and it was also very good. So,
that's custard.
Custard, right?
It's frozen custard.
Yeah. Right, frozen custard.
Yes.
Then I got yelled at a C store because I wasn't waiting in the right line. They have all these rules up in the Midwest, upper Midwest.
And that was another great customer of ours, Quick Trip.
Quick Trip. Oh my, Jen, don't get the wrong line at Quick Trip.
With a K. And you were buying a Leinenkugel's Creamy Dark.
Indeed, I was. Nice. With my own money. Yes. But I didn't spend a dime once I got there because I didn't have cash. Well, good talk. Jen, is there anything that I know you always have one last question?
Yes, it's my trademark. One last question.
It is.
I guess I have to ask, you know, are you guys out of the woods with out of stocks? I just have to ask.
Getting there. I think, you know, summer shandy was certainly challenging this year. The team did an exceptional job. Um, I know that we had some out of stocks at retail. There's no doubt about that. But we're out of the woods now. Some of our packaging in Chippewa Falls, we just put in a whole new packaging line. So continued investment in our plant in Chippewa Falls. We put in all new canning, all new bottling, a box shop where we're making our own boxes and now handling bulk glass. So that is getting up to speed. It's been slower than we wanted to, but hats off to our brewery workers. They have been working literally around the clock on 2 12-hour shifts through the summer to get caught back up on all of our packages. So hats off to them. They've really done a great job through the summer, and I think by fall we'll be in really good shape.
Good. Perfect.
What are you doing for Labor Day? Anything fun?
Well,
you're
yeah. So
Blake.
daughter Katie has already joined us from Milwaukee, and daughter.
Oh, good. Tell Katie hello. She sent me a
Yeah,
nice
I will.
a few weeks ago, and it's good.
Yeah, thanks, Harry. And then her twin sister Lindsay will be coming up here. I don't have a whole lot scheduled other than a little bit of pontoon time, a little bit of perhaps some golf, do some biking, and maybe get out on the trails up here as well. I'll leave you with this shot from Bass Lake, Harry.
Awesome. Okay, so Jennifer, when I saw that exact scene when I was there, it was just white.
Frozen, right?
So, and that little dock kind of
peaked,
it peaked above the snow like 2 inches, but that was it. He invites the people he doesn't care about in the dead of winter. This is when I'd like to go and take a swim and maybe go on the pontoon boat. But no, I have to go in the winter and be terrified on this 8,000-pound machine. No, I'm teasing you, Dick. I had such a good
You'll be
time.
invited up again, Harry.
in next winter. But let us re-up his life insurance first, Dick, would you?
Listen, nobody will sell me life insurance with how many kidney stones I've had. So, gee, many crickets. But, well, wow. Well, good. It was so great talking.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to catch up. And Jen and Harry, please enjoy a great Labor Day weekend, and think about all of our fabulous workers in this great business of ours, both at all 3 levels, retailers and our great retailers, distributors, and our brewery workers.
Here's to the merchandisers of the United States.
Yeah, our merchandisers.
Cheers
to them.
Drinking that Leinenkugel's water from Chippewa Falls.
Nice. All right, man. Well, y'all take care. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everyone.